Now, you've heard of the space race, you've heard of the nuclear race. Let me now introduce the deep sea race, a race to the bottom of the ocean. To find what? Resources. Scientists say it's a treasure trove down there. Guess how much these resources are worth? Between $8 and $16 trillion. $8 and $16 trillion, so India is joining this race. It wants to mine the deep sea for resources. And how do you do that? Well, first you need permission, a license to explore the seabed. This license is given by a United Nations body. It's called the ISA, the International Seabed Authority. ISA. You can apply for permission to explore the seabed of a particular area. If the ISA agrees, you can go ahead. Now, so far, 31 licenses have been issued. 2 of them belong to India. They were issued back in 2016. But now India wants at least 2 more licenses. One to explore the Indian Ocean's Carlsberg Ridge, and the second to explore a seamount, again in the Indian Ocean. Reports say the ISA's legal team has sent some questions to India. If they're satisfied, New Delhi could get the license. So that's permission check. The second step is actually going down to the seabed. It's tougher than space exploration. Outer space is all vacuum. But deep sea has a lot of pressure from the water. It can crush you and your vessel. So preparation is key. In 2021, India took a step in this direction. The government unveiled a new project. It's called Deep Ocean Mission. Some $480 million have been set aside for this project. So that's funding check. Finally, you need an exploration vehicle, a vessel that will take you to the seabed. Let me introduce you to Matsya 6000, a self-propelled marine vessel. Matsya means fish. The plan is to carry 3 personnel to a depth of 6,000 meters. It's expected to be launched in 2026. You've heard of Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan. The government calls this Samudrayaan. And what will this mission find on the seabed? Hopefully, some polymetallic nodules. Do not be put off by the big word. They're basically potato-sized rocks. They're rich in resources like manganese, cobalt, nickel, and copper, what we call rare earth metals. The seabed is littered with these rocks. So India's plan is to go down there, take a sample, bring it back, test it for feasibility, and then begin commercial mining. Now, the financial upside is huge. India says it could have around 380 million tons of polymetallic nodules, our wonder rocks. They're worth almost $110 billion. You can make batteries with them, or EV chargers, or solar farms, or wind farms. Basically, the deep sea could power India's green transition, so it's very important. It's also important politically. You see, the seabed is prime real estate. So there's a race to exploit it. The Americans cannot take part in this race because they've not signed the UN Convention on Rules of the Sea. So the US cannot apply for deep sea licenses. China and Russia have capitalized on this. China has 5 exploration licenses. Russia has 4. So India doesn't want to be left behind. We have 2. We've asked for 2 more. Hence these new applications. It will also help New Delhi project power in the Indian Ocean. Things are already tense there, especially within India-Maldives dispute. So these deep sea missions will help, sort of like marking your territory. We'll have more clarity by the end of this week. Members of the International Seabed Authority are meeting in Jamaica. They will discuss regulations and licenses. Now, I know that deep sea mining must sound wonderful, but it also has some risks. We know very little about this part of the ocean. So mining it before studying it is risky. Many environmental groups oppose deep sea mining. Several countries are also seeking a ban on it, at least a temporary ban, until you can figure out the deep sea's vulnerabilities, how fragile the ecosystem is. And it seems like a fair ask, but tell that to the Chinese. Last year, the ISA actively discussed a deep sea mining ban, and guess who blocked it? China. So yes, we need to preserve the deep sea, but we also need to tackle Beijing. We cannot let China draw the rules for the seabed. It's a balance that India will have to strike.